What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here. I am joined by Coach Art. We are back. This is actually an encore, almost a part two part of our previous webinar for last week. Today, we're going to talk about, we're going to answer 115 unanswered questions. Last time we connected, Coach Art and I, we led an amazing webinar called How Admissions Readers Evaluate UC Applications. We planned to go 90 minutes with the Q&A in there. We went over 2 hours. We had almost, I think, 400 people stay the entire time, which is insane. And we still had 115 questions that we could not answer. And we got a lot of DMs. Coach Art's DMs blew up. My DMs blew up. And you know what? Let's just answer on a call. This was not the planned topic for today. But we're like, you know what? Let's just go through it. Mass answer the questions. And it should be a really fun round. Again, these calls are only 30 minutes, which means we're gonna go fast. We're gonna go fast with a speed round through all of these questions here.
Okay,
right? So really quick as well, for those who are new, right? We are College Admissions Secrets. We've been doing this for the last 15 years now. We've been working with hundreds, thousands of families, helping our students get into all the top universities, not just with the UCs, but all the privates and the Ivy Leagues. We're super, super proud that on average, 98% of our coaching families get into one of their top 10 colleges, and 93% of them get into one of their top 5 colleges there. And you can start to see the success stories, more and more success stories. Our students are not only getting to, right here in the middle, Caltech, literally the most competitive college to get into in the nation, even above the Ivies, as well. To one of our students got in this past year. And you can see win after win after win. Top here, not just getting in, but scholarship money for our students as well, too. More and more. Look at that, a full ride from one of our students as well. So tons and tons. Again, you can see not just UCs, even though this is a UC group, we're streaming this into UCs. We have private schools. So again, last week we went live, Coach R and I, we broke down the entire application review process. We talked about exactly page by page what a former admission reader sees. How do we do that? I was a former UC Berkeley admissions reader. So I showed people kind of exactly, this is live, page by page, what I saw on every single page. And we talked about a bunch of mistakes not to do with this here. We also invited families who were interested to work with our team to implement everything. You kind of see this is everything you kind of get. We kind of take care of you guys the entire way. College, career, academics, activities, applications, truly unlimited support. And for anyone who's here, class of 2025, this is pretty much last call. We have 3 weeks left if you're watching this live. Pretty much after May 30th, we are closing down our doors to any class of 2025 family. So if you are interested, see if we can work with you. Definitely book a time to chat with us. I'm sure some of us will send the links in the chat. You guys can go ahead and book that as well too. And again, last week we did a Q&A call. We went way over. There was still 115 leftover questions that we're going to talk about today. So today in our session, we're going to answer all 115 of your questions. We're going to talk about academic stuff. There's activity questions. There's application questions. There's questions about high schools. There's questions about college admissions as well too. And before we jump into that, I always tell families, don't listen to strangers online. So I'm gonna do a quick little intro. My name is Coach Tony. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm one of your hosts for this group and for this call. I actually was a former UC Berkeley admissions reader. So I actually read over 20,000 applications for this process, understanding, hey, this is what it takes to get in. This is what the no students have in common. So our goal with this group, with our coaching program, helping you do what gets you guys in, avoid things that don't get you in. But I am not here alone. Again, this is a big feat. I'm joined by my partner, Coach Art. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure, absolutely. Hi, I'm Coach Art. I'm one of the college admissions coaches as well. But again, I'm a parent liaison because I'm a parent of 3, 3 boys. So proud of that's my claim to fame per se. They call me the student whisperer as well. I don't know. I think that's my dad and my coaching experience of 20 plus years. But of course, actually more than that for a dad. My oldest graduated recently from UC Berkeley. My middle son's going for pre-med biology, and my youngest son is committed to Biola University to play college soccer and physical therapy. But the biggest thing for me is I love helping students make it into their dream schools, and not just making it in, but really knowing about themselves and who they are at the end of the process, which is incredible. So have a lot, you can see my resume there, but I know we have lots to do today, and I'm just so privileged to be here with Coach Tony to get through these. So let's go ahead and get started, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun. So
let's do it.
Are we ready?
Before we get started, we actually have almost 200 people live right now in the chat. Let's go ahead and let it run for a little bit. Let me know what grade you guys are in. I'm super always curious every single week when we do these live trainings every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific. Drop in the chat what grade your child is in. Drop a 12 if you're a 12th grader, which by then for you all, congratulations, you guys are good to go. 11th, any 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th. Love to kind of see who's here. And the cool thing about being here live, we kind of cater it a little bit as well too. So if we notice we have a certain group a lot more, we tend, if you gotta go back to our old training, we kind of tend to kind of focus the training more, because we want to make sure we help you guys with everything as much as well here. I think looking at the chat, we got a nice little mix today. We got a lot of
8 to 11, 8 to 11.
A lot of 11th graders. 8 to 11. 6th grader popping in here as well too, starting early. I like it.
Love it
as well. So yeah, we have tons of students. So nice mix. I can't tell if there's one like mega mix at all, but definitely a really good mix. Thank you. Oh,
Tony,
we got senior here.
We got senior. Okay.
We got seniors.
We're over 200 now. We're over 200.
Over 200. Love it. Love it. All right. Like I said, that's a lot of questions. We are gonna move fast as a result of that. Let's kind of set some guidelines for this call as well too. There's also a Q&A open as well too. Cannot promise that we'll get to those questions. We'll try our best as well too. We might integrate the answers into the questions that we do.
Probably.
But our main goal is to get through the 115 that we have here. Almost a bunch of parents last week. So if you do have side questions in there, feel free to drop in the Q&A box. Those who ask questions in the chat, it was really hard. Our chat flows. Again, there's 240 people here right now. The chat goes nonstop, and you guys only see the everyone view. We see the host view as well too. That goes and flows way more faster too. So definitely, if you have any questions, drop it over into the Q&A box. We'll try to answer as much as we can, and we're gonna speed run. I believe Coach Art, you're gonna moderate this.
I'm gonna moderate this, and of course, everybody knows that I love reactions. So if you hear something whenever we give an answer and you love that, give us a thumbs up, please, or a heart, because that's something. We could just test that really quickly.
Let's test that really quickly.
There you go. Okay, they're flowing. The hearts are flowing.
The hearts are flowing. I love it.
Let's get started. Let's get started with
this.
Thumbs
up as well too. Okay, let's jump straight in. First one.
Let's go. First question. If a parent is an alumni, is there a place for that, and does it actually matter? Is there a place for that, and does it actually matter? Oh, I see. Okay, get it. So if it's parent alumni, frankly, there is not really any weight that a parent can has influence on if you're an alumni. That's basically it. I've seen too many students who think their parents say, "Oh, I'm there. I've been there. My kids are going to make it." Not really. Not these days. Now,
correct.
Maybe
especially the UCs as well too.
Exactly.
UCs, there's no. It's called legacy, right? That's not what it is. Legacy.
Correct.
No.
Yep.
And even if your parents went there. Legacy, okay, if you guys think, again, at the end of the day, right, this is like the unfiltered answer, right?
Yes.
Colleges are a business, right? So the reason why you put your parents' name is back in the day, your parents gave a lot of money to colleges. That's what legacy kicks in and does that as well, too. So keep in mind, that's kind of, if you think about legacy, did your parents donate a lot of money to these schools? Because if they did, right, for private schools, like the public schools, not really, but private schools, that's the big thing over there.
Okay, next. If I put my PIQ through ChatGPT to improve it, is that considered taboo by the UCs? How would they find? Okay, I'm going to give you the answer from the UC conference that we attended last summer. They actually did not, I don't know if there's the right word, poo-poo ChatGPT. What they said is it's fine if you use it as a tool as long as it doesn't derive the actual ideas and personality that you have. So for example, you can't just say, write me something. It has to be about something that you did that you write, and then it helps you improve it. Now, whether they're going to change their mind on that, we don't know, because I'm sure this round is going to be filled with people using ChatGPT to write. But it's a matter of being able to use it as an improvement and to improve it, rather than the actual ideas that is coming from your head. Coach
Exactly.
Tony, what do you think?
100%. I think that, and especially because again, for those who are attending our UC App Intensive workshop this summer, right? We teach you the exact framework on how to write it.
Exactly.
As of today, again, maybe in 5-10 years, we'll have to rechange my answer. But as of today, ChatGPT is not that advanced yet to write the style that we needed to write for college apps. Like you could try to plug it in. You can tell if things are AI-able, right? And you can see now, again, I was derived, look at grad schools. Grad schools have this. They can run it through an AI detector. There's tons of AI detectors nowadays as well, too. I'm sure it's be embedded in the PIQ boxes nowadays. So I agree with Coach Art. It's not bad to use it to improve it. We are actually fans of AI ourselves. We have an AI support bot for our coaching families to use as well, too. But keep in mind the true structure, you can't ChatGPT it as of today, right? Maybe in a few years when it gets more advanced, as ChatGPT 5.0, 6.0, maybe, but as of right now, not yet.
Okay. Did you say 10 APs is a must for UCs? Okay. Let me I'm gonna address this as well. It's not the case that 10 APs is a must. What it is remember, they're comparing you against the most competitive student in your high school, not in the region, not in another high school, but your high school. So if the most competitive student is taking 15 APs at the UCs, 15 APs, that's the mark typically. Sometimes you don't know who that person is. Sometimes you don't know how many courses they've taken. But and this is, again, Coach Tony, but what I've seen is normally the mark is those who are being competitive and made it in, they're over 10. They're like 12, 15, 17 or so. And so just to kind of give you a little bit of a gauge, yes, you want to be over that mark just because that's going to get you the most competitive. And again, we're not talking about honors courses either. We're talking about APs and community college courses combined by the time you graduate, or IB, or let's say UC Scout, BYU, right?
Exactly.
Educational programs online. Sorry, go ahead, Coach.
No, you got it. You got it. Let's get the next one.
Where in the application is there space to explain anomalies? I'm going to give that to you, Coach.
So there's a lot of different areas you can add on that. The biggest area, if it's a big thing, right? Let's say it's a big component you want to talk about, you can share it in the quote-unquote essays, right? Keep in mind, they're not essays, but the quote-unquote essay part. So the UCs, there's a section called the personal insight question. You can share it there. In addition, there's also sections on your app where, like, let's say, for example, hey, your grades, A, C, A, like, whoa, it's one weird C. What happened there? You can explain that. There's a section called the academic comments. Right? You get 550 characters for that section, or you do have a section at the very, very end called the additional comments. You get 550 words to share anything you want there as well, too. So that's kind of where I share any anomalies here.
Okay, what if I got a 2 on an AP test, but no good explanation? I'm going to give that to you, Coach, because I know you love this.
And keep in mind, you don't have to explain everything, right? Again, you're not being judged. You're not being like, oh, we got to do this. Keep in mind, readers, we want, again, we talked about this last time, added value. You want to add values to your app. If it's not good, again, not say 2 means you showed up to testing day, right? Imagine there's students out there who didn't even show their exams on there. Ooh, I don't know what happened to them, right? Maybe they didn't do the AP exams. You at least showed up. We give you credit in your back of our heads. You showed up to your testing days. Is that a score that's going to, for example, really help your app? May not help greatly, right, as well, too. So it might not add as much value to your app that way, but I will still share it, though, to acknowledge I took it, whatever. If you feel like you need to share it, to explain it, again, going back to last answer, academic comments, talk about it in there, or additional comments. But again, don't feel like you have to defend every bad thing on your app.
There you go. Okay, next. What if I take the test, but no corresponding AP course exists at my school? Okay, I can say, and I was literally just going to answer this actually as part of, so I'm glad I waited. First of all, the thing is that if you have, and exactly what Coach Tony said, if there's an explanation of why you took the test and not go through the course, you just explain it, okay, in your application, and you're good. Okay, that makes sense, because that could be the case. Now, the one thing I would say is this: some people say, why don't I just take the AP exams? Well, a couple things, or one thing. What the schools are trying to evaluate is whether you can take the rigor in college. Okay, you could just be a great test taker and have some knowledge and take the AP exam and get a 5 and you're good. But it didn't prove anything of whether you can go through the rigor of the class. Because sometimes, and usually this is the case, a lot of times the class is harder than the exam, and they do that on purpose so that you can get a 5 on the AP exam. Okay. So if you show that you got through the course and you took the exam, that's much better. And but for this specific question, again, you just explain it, why you took the, or frankly, I don't know, Coach Tony, what do you think? If you don't explain it, you still get a good grade on the AP if you have it, right?
Correct. Exactly.
There you go.
Perfect.
Okay. Would applying early impact the chances of better reading by the reader? Ooh,
great question. So when you apply early, right? So again, the apps do open October 1st for submission, right? That they pushed a lot earlier this year. October 1st is where you submit it. Readers, fun fact, readers don't get trained until end of October. As a result of that, the first reads will happen realistically end of October, early November. So if you're part of that batch who submits their app, let's say October 1st, I'm the first in line to do it, your app is in a queue. It's in a queue somewhere. It piles up for everyone. Once, let's say make it easy, November 1st, readers officially start. That doesn't mean you get read in order. Everything's random, right? So hypothetically, you could be, right, according to randomness, right? You could be the very literal first person applying. You could be also the very last person read as well, because that's how random works, right? They threw it, you think it's randomized. Readers just pick random apps to read. We don't go through a certain school first. We don't go through a certain area. It's randomized. We pull off the top, we read. That's right. Pull off the top and read. But this is, keep in mind, it's like a machine that's always randomizing the apps every single time there. So,
one thing, Coach Tony, is, but we make sure you do not wait until the last moment to submit your application because of that. Don't. Correct. Okay, sorry, go on. What if your school doesn't offer APs? Okay, so remember how we talked about that they don't compare you to other high schools necessarily or regions, they compare you WhatsApp. So everybody in your high school is in the same boat. Okay, exactly. Now, there are other things that you can do. If they don't offer APs, there are other avenues, okay? You can take community college class or do what we call dual enrollment. You can take AP courses via UC Scout or BYU, okay? If, again, you have approval to do so, right? So those are the things that what looks great on this is because your school don't offer APs, but you went above and beyond and took the dual enrollments or the, again, the other course, the AP courses at a different school, it's going to look great on your application because you did above and beyond what the students in your school did.
Love it. Next one.
UC's test blind. If I have a good ACT score, I want them to know so I can include it. No.
That's okay, so moving on. That's the answer. The answer is no. That they are telling you on the app, do not send your scores. If they imagine this, right? You're trying to go to a school, they tell you don't do something. Does a UC want someone to break rules at their school? Right? You're telling them I'm a rule breaker. It's literally what it is. So no, do not sneak in any scores for the UC. That's a simple answer. People try to
for UCs.
What if I do this?
That's right. For UCs. Yeah. Okay. Which score to submit? 1540 or 35? Woo.
So in terms of the UCs, none of them, right, is the answer. When it comes to other schools, right? Submit both. Right. If you took both, you got both scores, submit both. Again, you're not the reader. Let the readers decide what they prefer, what they like is better. They will always help you. Nothing hurts. I think a lot of people have a negative thought about the readers, like, oh, they're out to get me. No, readers, I was trained. We want to say yes to as many students as we can. The issue is there's so many spots available. And every year, more people apply, but the spots never change. It's only the same amount of spots. If you look at the trend, go back to the UCs for the last 10 years, it's the exact same number of spots they accept. The reason why admission goes down is more people apply every year. That's why the admission rates drop, right? Because the same amount of spots. So again, let the readers decide which score is better for you. Submit both. They will consider both. They'll pick the one that's better for you if the school is test optional, test required. Again, test blind, don't submit it.
Right. Why is income of community and school funding important? If a student comes from an affluent area, do they get penalized?
It's a great question. Dan, do they get penalized? Absolutely not, right? I think the income community is context. We said that word a lot last time on the call. This is the thing as well, too. I'm sure if you guys drove around in your area, like an hour each direction, some areas, right? You pass by a bunch of different like zip codes of different affluent areas. Some schools could use more assistance. They have it's called the local control federal funding. is bigger there, vice versa, right? That's not saying, hey, we're going to help one group, not help the other. It's context. It's understanding where you came from, and that's the area. Because again, we don't really choose, right? Especially the law students, you don't choose kind of where you're at. That's where you're at. Then around that, is there a penalty? Do you get penalized though? Absolutely not. Right? There are families. Again, doesn't mean if my parents have a really high income, that means I'm affluent. No, I know families that parents make a lot of money. They give their kid nothing, absolutely nothing as well too. So parents like, no, that's my money. That's not your money as well too, right? So keep that in mind. It's all about context of everything. You want to share as much as you can so the readers understand that context there.
That's right. Does UC Scout have the same weight as community college courses? Yes, if you're taking APs. You have mentioned multiple times that submit your transcript, but UC's only ask for self-reported information. Are you saying we should be still? You are going to be submitting your transcript, absolutely. But what happens is they'll ask for a final transcript, okay, as part of the process. So yes, you are self-reporting your information. That's the reason why you have to make sure they match in the application, because you will be submitting a final transcript to make sure they verify. That's the reason why we say is, if you're going to declare something on your senior year and say you're going to do it, do it. Because if you don't and it doesn't match, then there's a what's going on. Remember, Coach Tony said this last time. You don't want to give the readers any or type of question of why they should accept you, right? Okay.
Exactly. But yeah, keep in mind, you don't submit anything, right? You don't. Everything is self-reported as a senior. Right. So any junior, we have a lot of juniors here. When you're applying your app this fall, you're self-reporting every single part of it, right? As well too. Right. Then once you get into that because again, keep in mind, submitting these things costs money. That's why they're trying to save you the money, because it's not each app, each transcript you send out does cost you money as well too.
So intensified and honors don't count if out of state.
So this question is asking, like, if you are not a California resident, right? So keep in mind, in California, honors classes, some honors classes do give you the UC honors weight. However, if you are out of state, California non-resident, out of state school, no matter how fancy your school is with the honors, it will not recognize it as an honors. However, right, and then recognize it as an honors for the UC GPA, to be very, very specific, right? However, doesn't matter. Again, you're doing the best you can. As long as you share, this is what the honors level of my school looks like. This is affecting the GPA. Again, we say it over and over and over and over and over again. GPA does not matter. Ignore that. It doesn't matter at all. Just focus on, if that's the best your school does, do that, right? Do that. That's going to help you guys out with the rigor there.
Okay, importance of college summer programs. Okay, it all depends, I would say. The summer programs, one of the things that I would say is that if you are able to get an experience that shows leadership, that shows some experience in possibly the major that you're doing, really, again, something that you're passionate about, it's amazing. It's great. It's a great summer program, because then you can write about that. It's some experience you can write about. If the summer program is something where you're really not doing anything, then I recommend not to take it, especially if it's super, super expensive. I've seen some of these programs where they're like, hey, pay this money, you can be exposed to the medical profession, and you're just watching kind of people doing things. That doesn't really do anything for you. I would rather, frankly, do a personal project. And because it's student run, student initiated, and now it's all about you, everything that you have to do. And it's not necessarily about the result, it's about the journey that you took. So that's my take. I don't know, Coach Tony, if you have anything.
No, I think that the easiest filter you can ask yourself is, here's the question. If Coach Tony wouldn't let me put this on my app, would I still want to do it? That's a really good question for anything you do, right? Research. Coach Tony, try to do research. I'm like, cool, do the research, but I won't let you put it on your college apps. Would you still want to do it? I guarantee you, most of you are gonna lie, but the answer is no. I'm not gonna do it. Why do all that work for no reason, right?
Exactly.
The answer is don't do that. But when you truly have an activity, again, a lot of summer programs, again, some of them are really, really good though. Like, hey, I'd still want to go and do that thing because I'm really interested in that thing. Perfect. Do it. Again, at the end, we're going to share everything. Don't feel like we're not going to, you'll share everything. But again, what Coach Art mentioned, you're sharing the journey. The thing doesn't matter, right? Most of our students don't do a lot of summer programs. They all end up at top schools, right? If it was, we tell you, hey, do this program. They got kids in, right? There's none of that. That's why we don't say that. Coach Art, I'll ask you the next question. Do we coach only for UCs or any colleges in the nation?
Any college in the nation.
We have students who are applying, again, this is the UC group, so a lot of people are
That's
applying
right.
to UCs, but
That's
once
right.
you're inside our coaching program, we help you with all the schools, right? Private
That's right.
schools, public schools, other out of states, Austin, Washington, Ivies, our kids end up at Ivies as well too. So any and all colleges there.
Absolutely. My child is in IB classes and can take the AP exam for that subject, even if they didn't take AP class. So if they don't do well in AP, can she skip reporting it? You can skip reporting any of the APs if you want to.
Correct.
Again, I don't know why, if you're in the IB classes, why you take the AP exam. I don't
by
know,
taking an
Coach
IB
Tony.
class, you have an IB exam.
Yeah,
Keep in
exactly.
mind,
That's
you
what I
have
mean.
your own
Exactly.
exam as well too, right? And they're both equivalent. The idea of the AP and IB exam
Exactly.
is to get you college credit, to skip
That's
out
right.
of a class. Essentially, what is it? You're skipping out
Right.
of a college class if you get a high enough score. That's pretty much
Right.
what it means.
Right.
IB curriculum, it's very, again, similar. That's why when you see a lot of high schools, not many of them double dip a lot. Some do, but a lot of them is an IB program, hardcore, AP
Right.
program, hardcore, because that's you don't need either or. So just for some fun context, IB is the internationally recognized. So if you go to other countries, they have IBs. No one has APs outside the US. US is the only country that's fancy. They have their own AP curriculum, and that's the difference.
Yep. Okay, anything done as part of religion, playing instrument in church, poor kids playing. Okay, first of all, this is not about the religion, okay? And I want to make that perfectly clear. This is about what are you passionate about and what you love to do, okay? So if you play an instrument in church, great. Play an instrument in church. Help poor kids or less fortunate individuals. Playing music to community center, that's awesome, but it has nothing to do with religion. And yes, if you mention that's at, whatever, St. Mary Catherine's Church or something like that, that's just because you're mentioning that's where you did it, but it doesn't mean that it's religion based. Okay.
Exactly.
There you go. Perfect. Next, do you need to take these very competitive and prestigious summer programs or research program under college professors good as well?
Either, right? Either or. Again, don't do things for the sake of like wow, it's this. Again, same exact filter question, right? So when I say filter question, you guys can know what it means. It means if you couldn't put that prestigious program on your app, would you still want to do it? If you couldn't put that research program on your app, would you still want to do it? You ask that question, you're gonna know the answer right away off of that.
Is there a difference choosing the application public versus private?
I don't get this question when
I don't either, but again, I don't think there's in either or. It's a matter of you have to look at what's best for you and the type of school, the type of environment, the type of majors. I mean, all of that. There's a lot of criteria that you would choose both for your major and your school, and that should drive whether public, private, or both.
I'm assuming I think they meant college instead of app. I think that'll make a lot more sense.
College, yeah,
that makes sense.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah. How do we as parents know what is submitted by our high school with regards to the profile of the school and how our kids rank?
It's a great question. You don't control it. Exactly. It's automatic. It's by the way, it's 3 years ago. That's all too. It's 3 years like history of the grade, because again, things can happen weirdly per year. So the counselors submit it automatically. They don't submit rank, right? Everyone is always like rank happy. Yeah. We don't know rank unless you tell us rank on the application itself as well too. Right. I lied. UC apps don't care about rank. Private schools, however, Common App does ask for rank in their application. That is the nuance between the UCs and the private schools as well too. But keep in mind, again, it's all contextual still, right? So everything is contextual. You can always explain everything as well too. Right.
Honors awards, is this for academic only? No.
Correct. I think whatever the distinction here is the UCs accept any awards or honors. Correct. The Common App private colleges only accept academic. That's the distinction here.
Is it better to do AP Stats course from UC Scout or community college? I don't think it matters, right? It doesn't matter. Keep in mind, if you do at UC Scout, it's an online high school, essentially, you can finish the whole class. But to get the college credit for it, you have to take the AP exam. Community college, it's a 1 semester class or a summer class. Once you take it, you pass the class, ABC. It's not called AB Stats, it's called Stats, right? Once you pass it, you're guaranteed the college credit right away. So if you pick, I think if you ask us, I just Coach Art and myself, we kind of lean towards the community college. Absolutely. It's less work, less everything. And another thing is, if you go UC Scout sometimes, unless you do in the summer, you still have to wait until the spring to take the actual exam.
Exactly.
So that's why, you know, who knows what happens there between that. So
Awesome. Quick little pause. We're at 320 people right now, and we're 6:30 already. Is it okay if we go over? I think we haven't
Can we
even
go
gotten to
over?
the halfway point. Yeah,
I
in the
don't think so
chat,
either.
can we go a little over? Is that okay? If we go over, I think we might go to the top of the hour.
We might. We
gotta go a little
probably will.
faster, but we gotta go top of the hour. Is that okay, guys? There's 320
Okay.
of one dropped. 319 of you guys still here. There you go. Thumbs up. Oh man,
Okay.
like you, Coach Art, the thumbs
Okay.
up.
I do want to ask, are you getting, because I didn't see a lot of you know, hearts or so when we were giving the answers. Are you getting value from this? And we want to make sure. Okay, good. Whew, there goes the hearts. I love it. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Love it. Let's go.
Here we go.
We do have to go a little faster, Coach Art.
Okay, if a student got below a 3 on all their pass, will they lower their chances in getting into college? I thought they only looked at the ones you submit to the school.
They only see the ones that you submit. So they won't, if you don't submit, they won't see it. Will it hurt you? It won't help you, is the answer there.
Right. How important are the AP scores in the review process? Is it UC dependent?
It plays a role, right? So the UC scores play a role in the academic section of your application itself. But keep in mind, that is the least important factor of your admissions process out too.
Right.
UC dependent, I'm assuming you mean like, is it like each school sees their own thing? Every UC sees their own thing. No UC see any other schools that you apply to other schools. They don't even know if you apply to any other schools either.
For comparing students, how do the UCs know what the most competitive student in your high school is taking? Do they have a list of the students in the rigor?
That's a great question. So the answer is no. And here's our trick. Again, keep in mind, we teach you guys stuff that will help you win, right? That's the big thing, right? And here's the reason why. No, this list does not exist. However, what list do the UCs have? I kind of teased it last time we done. They see the average student at your school. However, right, if you compete yourself against the most top student in your school and the college sees the average student, how good does your student look like? That is why we say compare yourself to the most competitive as well, too, because that's what you want to show, that big gap. If I say look for the average kid at your school and beat them, that's no fun as well, too. So our goal, again, the reason we say this is one of our strategies, right? This is one of the strategies. Compare yourself to the top, because at the end of the day, you need, like, from a real life point of view, you want to be at the very top if you're going to end up at these top schools as well too. Do they have the list of the rigor? Absolutely not. They just see, like, here's all the APs that we offer, here's all the classes we offer, and here's the average student. That's what the schools really see on the back end.
Okay, when you say 20 hours, is this per activity or it's per week? Per week. Now, if you have one activity, that's 20 hours. Okay, fine, but it's per week total. Next. Why do I hear folks say don't write about sports? Too cliche. No. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. First of all, what we're talking about is if you're passionate about it and that's a major part of your life and you've done things, yes, write about sports. There's not an issue with writing about sports. But we've always said, again, when you're writing, especially for the UCs, if you have 4 different types of questions, you don't want all 4 questions to be about that one subject, which is the sports, and let's say your football or something. You want it to be the case where the 4 UCs, the four prompts, is you're answering with different types of answers so that you have almost like 4 different people and you put them together. It's a superhuman, okay? It's not cliche if you are passionate about and you truly love what you're doing, because that will show through in the application. Next. Is it more important to give context and clarity about activities and PIQs or write about something different? Okay, I'll do this easy.
Go ahead,
we always say 1/3, 2/3. 1/3 context and clarity, 2/3 the whys. When we talk about the whys, what is in your brain? Remember, PIQs, personal because it's about you, insights because it's about what's in your brain, question because it's a question that you ask and you give a direct answer, okay? So again, you want to make sure, we usually say ratio, 1/3, 2/3. So if it's 350 words, about 140 is the context, and then the rest is the whys. Next. Is this material available in written form? Coach Tony.
The answer is yes. Soon.
Soon. Yes. Can you send me the top 10 mistakes, please? Yes, we can send you
Keep
the
in
top
mind,
10
so,
mistakes.
so those who are new, right? Every week we do a training as well too. So
Exactly.
we have so if you guys are in our Facebook group, UC Admission Secrets, right? We have a bunch of trainings. Just comment the words. Our team is amazing. I'm sure you have talked to them.
Right.
The amazing Coach Rosie, Coach Yara,
Yep.
Coach Leanne, Coach Lily, Coach Grace, Coach Joy. They're
Right.
they're incredible. You guys have talked to them. They're amazing. Just ask whatever you guys need. We're again, our thing is I think one of the cool things why our team vibes so well. We all have the same core vision. We want to make college admission accessible. And I think the thing is, the more we've only gone live, and there's still way more questions that popped up as well too, means
Exactly.
we gotta do more of this stuff, right? We gotta
I
do
know
more.
we
We're gonna
do.
help more families. I think that's kind of what we're doing as well too. So
Okay.
I just request anything you guys need. We're happy to send you guys any and all the replays that we have.
There you go. PIQs. Do we have to use up all the number of words? Okay, yes, as much as you can, but normally again, PIQs, it's at 350. Don't go lower than 340. Next. Should you always fill up PIQs until the word limit? Yes, same question. My daughter is at 10th grade and she's currently taking Spanish 3. She does not want to take Spanish 4 next year. Is that okay? Yes, it's okay. How important is it to take 4 years of the main 5 AG math science? Well, it's required. I mean,
For 4
right?
years of English is required. Math, 3
Math
years
is
required. 4
3
is
years,
recommended.
exactly.
We recommend recommended. History, you don't
Exactly.
need the 4, right? It's
Right,
1
right, right.
year, 2 years required. That's it. So U.S. history, world history is usually the 2 I see a
Yep.
lot. Science is 2 recommended 3. Can you do more if you're a science major? Probably, right?
You should.
Language
Yes.
other than English, right? Is 2 required, 3 recommended. 3 is good enough. Unless you'll be a linguistics major that you study language, maybe 4 would be helpful for that.
And
well too.
one little thing, language, okay? If you take it at the community college, remember language. If you take 2 semesters of community college language, is equivalent to 3 years of high school.
Exactly.
Think about that.
Fun
Okay.
little fact. Really quick before we
Fun-
jump on, I saw a few people sending me a private message real fast. So I'm gonna send you guys URL. If anyone's interested in doing a 15-minute assessment with our team, it's free. Again, lots of questions. We probably can't get to all of them today. But if you guys want to book a time, talk to our team. Our team is more than happy to help answer any and all questions that you guys have as well too. So that's that. In our coaching families, feel free to ping us in our Discord. We can help you guys out with that as well too. All right.
That's right. Okay, next. Is it better to be top 10% student in normal high school or top 4% at hybrid? She goes to Valencia, but her high school record will show.
I probably answer this one.
Yeah,
the one big thing we tell families all the time, your high school is kind of irrelevant to us specifically, right? So again, for us, we can help you whatever school. We have kids from public, private, charter, everything you can think of. We work with every single type of family. So the type of school kind of is irrelevant. This is you guys as in parents. I always tell parents when like a lot of 8th grade families, when they work with us, they're like, Coach Tony, we have these 2 schools. Where do I want to go? Right. And then why I tell families in those cases, I'm like, hey, ignore college, right? Ignore college right now. You know that if they go at these 2 schools, especially these 2 schools, right? In 4 years, the student will be a certain way, right? Because that's who they are, the environment they're at, the context, everything. They're away there as well too. Which of those do you want your child to be? Again, when they're this age, they're still a kid. They have no clue what they want to do yet, right? So for parents, what direction do you want to go to? Once you figure it out, cool. Let's help them get in. So from a college admissions point of view, it's kind of irrelevant because again, we're not going to say go to this school to help you with admissions, and that will go against everything that we teach as well too. For us, is find the school that's best for you. That's not just college, but it's high school as well to find the best environment at the high school that's best for your family there.
My child's school's speech and debate is not a club but a class, but brings down the GPA by a small percent. Kind of penalty for how will suit.
Ignore GPA.
Exactly.
Ignore GPA.
Done.
Moving on.
Do students get any credit for the self-study APs if they score a 5? Well, they get credit again.
We acknowledge you pass a test.
Exactly. Done. If you're already taking all the typical most rigorous course and you're doing really cool activities at schools and working, can you take a lighter load? Don't take a lighter load.
If you're aiming for higher schools,
that's correct.
If you don't care where you go to, I just want to go to a local state school, a local school next to my house. Not saying they're bad, but like I'm just chilling, right? Go for it.
Right.
But keep in mind your competitors, your other friends, they are going to do more as well.
They're going to keep going. Remember, it's always looking up, right? How do admission officers typically treat twin applicants?
That's a great question. They don't know. They don't know the other twin usually. Whenever I read twin apps, I usually never saw the other twin come up on the app. ever. Again, it's random, right? The twins will let us know they're a twin. Every twin will let us know they're a twin. We have like 5, 6 twins in our program right now, I think, Coach.
I
Right?
know, it's
We have a lot of
amazing.
twins, right? But then, and then I've noticed some twins are exactly the same. Some twins are polar opposites as well, too.
Exactly.
So that doesn't mean much, not much, right? So, but
That's right.
if you share it, you can share it. Again, if that's context. I'm sure you lived a life that was a little like shaped by that twinness
Correct.
that you lived through.
My son is attending an engineering camp at SLO this summer before he's junior. He was invited to another camp. Should he do multiple weeks or is one sufficient? Again, if he wants to do multiple weeks, great. Depends upon what he's doing with those engineering camps. It will look good because he's doing both SLO and Berkeley are great. And if you can fit the time in and keep up the the commitment hours, then I say do it.
The other thing is also money as well too, right?
Right.
Does it fit the budget, right? I
Exactly.
always get sad when parents take out loans for stuff like this. It's like,
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
have to. No. There's nothing that, again, the pay to play, that kind of doesn't exist, right? Just do things that's within your budget, and then that's good to go as well too.
Can you give examples of major strategies for specific
We talked about
UC?
this on the last call as well
We
too.
did.
So for example, at Berkeley, right, there's different colleges as well too.
Mhm.
So again, I use an example because it doesn't apply anymore. A few years ago, if you're interested in computer science, there was 2 majors for you at Berkeley. EECS, which is electrical engineering computer science, housed under engineering school, and the computer science, which is housed under letters and science, right? Comparatively, both will get you pretty much the same exact degree, right? EECS has more like engineering focus, like more hardware. But for the most part, if you look at the class list, it's pretty much identical as well too. However, EECS is under engineering, which is a little more competitive to get in. However, today it doesn't apply anymore. Computer science is so competitive, it became its own major at Berkeley. So
Yep.
that doesn't help anymore either, but like that's one example formally. This, by the way, major strategy affects way more at the private, and especially at the Ivy colleges. This is where the differentiation happens a lot. If you guys are interested, we have another group out there called Ivy League Admission Secrets, led by Coach David, our head coach, and our Ivy League master strategist. He's the true brains of all of us. So definitely, if you guys are interested in Ivy stuff, definitely consider joining that group as well too.
What are the top 4 UCs for business? Well, there's only 3. Well, I'm saying, sorry, let me get that.
There's only 3 schools that
There's
offer
only 3
a business
college,
major.
yes.
Like for example, UCLA is good, right? But they
Right.
actually don't have a business major. They have a biz econ. So
They have, yeah.
that's that.
And of course, Berkeley has.
Yes.
So, yeah. Okay. Can you talk about student employment? Why is it needed to explain how the income is spent? No.
Why is needed? They ask you. It's literally a question.
Yeah, exactly. They'll ask you, but
how do you spend your money? It's not a choice, right? But employment, again, keep in mind, you don't have to work. People work because they want to work. People don't work because they don't want to work. Then there's nothing you have to do on the app. But again, for example, for me, my story, I worked a lot because that's kind of my story of kind of my high school life. I worked from 9th grade all the way to 12th grade as well too. Because again, for me, it was my family, blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about that in a future training, but then that's the thing. And then the second part is it's a required question if you select the
select, exactly. What class should be taken at community college after junior year for CS STEM majors? Well, we always say maximize science, maximize your math, maximize your science. So I mean, it depends upon. I'm applying for a UC grad program. Do you have a basic formula for writing a statement of purpose? I'm a later in life student, just undergrad. I've learned so much from your presentation. Thank you from learning. Love it.
Very similar. It's very similar.
Exactly.
For those, again, this is probably outside of most people in this call as well too.
Right.
So, but they're very, very similar. If you want to reach out to us, we can give you a better example. Coach David helps our grad students. If you're interested, ping me or Coach Art. We'll connect you with Coach David to help you out with that.
Absolutely.
As well.
Will colleges know if you took an AP exam but didn't report the score? They only see what you report. So
schools are not going to go out of their way to do work.
No.
It's the biggest thing.
Do students from the same school get evaluated by the same person? No. Well,
yes and no.
I don't know, Coach.
Potentially, right? So it's a region of apps read by a group of people. So hypothetically, statistically, right, could be, but also statistically not as well too. So that's nothing there.
What do you mean by it's important why you do things, not what can? Okay, so
yeah,
I'll give you that. Yeah. All right. Again, the whys. Okay, so I'll give you. There's 2 things: the what's and the whys. The what is what I can physically see, and it's the context of the story. If I see you on the soccer field with a soccer ball kicking it around with a team, I know you're a soccer player because that is the what. I can physically see that. But what I cannot evaluate is if I look at you, I can't understand what are the struggles and adversities you went through to become a great soccer player. Why is it that you are motivated to be a soccer player? Okay. How has it made you a better person? Okay. Why do you wake up in the morning and all you think of those are things that I cannot see physically, just that of the from looking at you. It is important that you talk about the whys, because that is what the colleges are looking for. They're trying to evaluate what kind of person you are, and if the person who you are fits the profile that they're looking for of a student at that school, because they're going to want to know if you are a student at the school, if you went through some adversity or struggle, how are you going to deal with that? Are you going to thrive or are you going to fail? If you are an alumni of the school, are you going to be successful and give back to school or not? Okay, and they can only evaluate that because they see, of course, your grades, they see your activities, but they can't necessarily see exactly who the actual person you are and what you think in your brain and how you think. Okay, that's why it's important. It's important the whys. All right, next. Dun, 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 dun. Can an incoming junior attend the college application help sessions?
No. So
Sorry.
our college app intensive, for great segue, right? I just answered the question in the chat as well too. So we do have a 2-day college app intensive workshop. So any juniors who are here who are interested in getting your help, we literally hold your hand through the entire weekend to get your UC apps done, UC essays done, Cal State apps done, Common App done, personal statement, up to 5 colleges, college supplements done during that 2-day weekend. It's only seniors, only because, again, to get all that done in 2 days, it's nonstop working. It's not like a come, we'll teach you stuff. No, it's a work event. You're coming with rough drafts. We're going to edit nonstop. We edit, you fix, you come back to us. We edit, we fix nonstop. That's how our students finish in the 2 days. So juniors, not allowed to attend. But if you are a current senior, though, in the chat, I wrote collegeappintensive.com. If you guys want to register for that, we have 13 weekends that we're coming. And I can share it today officially. We have all the locations confirmed officially as of today. So we're going from north to south. We're going to be at UC Davis for one of the weekends. We're going to be at UC Berkeley for one of the weekends. We're going to be at San Jose State for one of the weekends. We're going to be at Cal State Long Beach for one of the weekends. University of Southern California, USC for one of the weekends. UC Irvine for one of the weekends. And University of San Diego, USD, for another weekend as well too. So if you guys are interested, it's our first time ever hosting it on college campus. So we did it as a, like, you guys can double dip. If you guys are interested in a school, you can use that weekend to also tour the school, know the area. So that's kind of our little selfish reason for hosting it on college campus this summer here.
Hey, do honors courses fall under rigor courses? Well, it depends. Okay, what I'm saying is this: when we define rigor courses as AP, dual enrollment, which is community college courses, or again, IB, if you have IB, and UC Scout, BYU, educational programs that are online. Okay, now honors courses, let's say honors chem or so, it does have some weight, but it doesn't have the same weight as what I just talked about, the APs, the dual enrollments or so. So what we always want to do is to make sure is that there is no doubt when a reader looks at your application that you are at the highest rigor. If you were talking about, and so if you have all these APs and on top of it, you're taking honors, whew, you are there. Okay. But if you have all honors courses, remember, they're going to compare you. They're going to look and say, well, this person had all APs. And then that's where the decision, from the reader takes into account, right? Okay. Next. If you go to a feeder school with many highly qualified students, is it hard to get accepted to a good college if you're average or below average? Do people at easy schools have a better chance?
So in California, unfortunately, there's not a lot of feeder schools out there.
Yeah, exactly.
This is more of an Ivy League East Coast thing as well too. There are schools that do have like bigger acceptance rates to certain UCs as well too. That's how the school is designed and how like the amount of people who apply to certain schools is pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Is it harder? Is it easier? Not really, because again, it's not easy or hard. That's the level of the school. Like that's the level of the people at that school. So it's not saying, hey, that school is 10 more people. I bet you, if you looked at the entire profile, you'd argue, oh, I see why that school has a lot of people that go to that school, because that's kind of how the school is designed that way too.
The student arrived from China and had never studied English, so English is actually foreign language. Can passing the AP Chinese exam fulfill the? Does he need to provide his middle school transcript from original country?
Ooh. So this is a complicated question a little bit. So the quick answers though, does passing the AP Chinese fulfill the requirement? Yes. Does he need to provide middle school transcripts? Yes and no. It depends because technically I don't know. We don't know exactly. Are you an international student or are you by joining ninth grade? You actually hit California residency, right? Because if you are, you're a California resident. AP exam will get the age requirement. Do you need middle school? No. However, depends on your classes as well too. International is actually read by a whole different team because it's very nuanced. So definitely reach out to the UCs. It's kind of my advice for this student. Reach out to the UCs, the UCs you want to go to. Any of the UCs can help. They'll help you figure out kind of what classification to do. If you are international, you need to do one extra thing, which is the TOEFL or IFL exam. That's the test you got to take in addition to everything else as well too.
Should you report all your AP scores? Should you take all your AP exams? How important is it together? Because I think we've
yes. The answer is yes, yes, somewhat important.
Exactly. What does the 3,500? Oh, okay.
This is our coaching program. We offer coaching program for anyone who's interested. You can't buy it. Like it's not people try to buy last time. We're like, here, what's the order form? Like, there's no order form, right? You qualify to get into the program. So if you guys are interested, I'll drop one more time. If you guys want to book a free 15-minute session to chat with our team, see if we can help you out first. Because if we can't help you, no matter how good, even $1, it's not worth it because we can't help you get you where you guys want to go. So talk to our team first. They'll let you know, hey, we can help. Here's what it look like. And they can break it down the program for you as well too. Pretty much we take care of everything to graduation.
Let's see here. Next. Is there such a thing as too many activities? My daughter goes to small high school and is able to participate in a variety. Do you have students cut out some of their apps so they don't So first of all, okay. On the UC apps, you can only put 20. Okay, you only have 20 slots. On the Common App, you have 10. I know it's UCs, but now when you say I don't kind of understand when you say don't look overextended. It doesn't matter. It's a matter of how are you doing within those activities? Okay, so what we say is don't go and just sign up for 20 clubs and not do anything. What you want to be able to do, there's two parts to it: leadership and commitment. We say this all the time. Leadership commitment is the number of hours that you are dedicating to those particular activities, and then leadership is exhibiting leadership skills, whether you have a leadership position or whether you're doing leadership things in those particular activities. That's what's important, not necessarily showing you're overextended, because you won't look overextended if you are doing and are able to explain it in the app what you're doing in the activities. And if you are doing amazing in your school with your grades, and then you have these incredible activities and you're showing a lot of leadership, that goes a long way. And then now you have stuff to write about in your app. Next. Okay, my daughter's 10th grade and she's currently taking Spanish 3. She does not want to. Oh, we've had this one already.
You're very simple. The answer is, do you need to? No.
No. Are there specific essay requirements for different majors? Not for UCs.
Not for UCs, correct.
What trends do you see in this application cycle? I think
this is actually a training we're actually going to do. So this is like a nice little tease. We're going to do this actually late. Usually we do it on like this month. However, I'm sure you guys know the FAFSA fiasco messed everything up for this year. So usually by now we would know we still don't know where our kids are going because
that's right.
The actual deadline is still like a week from now as well too for a lot of schools. So we don't officially know. We haven't like officially concluded this year yet, but this will be one of the topics that Coach Art or myself both. We'll actually do this this upcoming summer for you guys as well too.
Should an applicant explain why they got a B? No, don't need to. A's and B's are good. Why should C's? Yes, B lower than B's. So lower than B's. Yeah. What would make a student not a fit?
Go to and look up the UC values and stuff like that. If you don't agree with the UC values, you're not a good fit.
There you go. Will the UC see freshman year grades, even though they aren't? Yes.
Absolutely. This is why people who tell you like freshman year doesn't matter. It matters, right? We tell you that you'll still see it. It might not get calculated in GPA, which again is a made up number. Ignore that. Right. Focus on the freshman year doing great.
My school only reports deciles. Okay, deciles. We talked about this.
We talked about this already. Doesn't matter.
I mean, then last week we did. Sorry. Do they look at weighted GPA again? Insignificant.
But the answer is they say both.
Right. Spanish 3 in 10th grade considered 3 years in high school.
Yes. Language is per year. So if you take Spanish 3 as a freshman, that's 3 years.
That's
boom,
3 years.
Right away.
Exactly. I have been worried because I did not have very good grades in freshman and freshman. Do I still have a chance at college if I have good extracurricular activity? Remember, grade trend. We always say if grades are going up, that's the key thing. I've seen students that had some bad grades their freshmen and even sometimes in the sophomore year, and they still made it into some good schools just because you have to show the grade trend and you have to explain and have good explanation of why you have those C's or D's, okay? And if you really kicked into your junior and senior year with having great grades, great activities, and you have a compelling application prompts, you have a chance, okay? You have a chance. I've seen it, okay? I've actually seen it. All right. Is it better to be a top student from a public or private, or be an okay student from a #1 private high school?
Be the number one student at any school you're at.
Exactly.
That's the real answer.
That's exactly right. What if you took the exam but never got higher than a 3 on any? Does that lower your chance? No, it does not lower your chance. My daughter's school offers honors but not AP classes. Is that an issue to explain? No, it's not an issue to explain.
It's contextual to high school.
Exactly. Is there any difference?
No, the answer is no.
No, there's no difference.
A minus, all the same A's as well.
Well, again,
it only matters. It only matters in grad school, or like going to grad school.
Right. But I think, and forgive me, I forgot, what was it? A UC app accepts the minuses and plus, and Common App doesn't. I forgot. I keep forgetting which one.
Common App, I believe, takes it.
Common App takes the minus and pluses, but still, again, it's A's
doesn't
and A's
affect
and
anything, though. Correct.
Yeah, exactly. Next, if the student is interested in science, does it matter to take APs in something unrelated like AP or no? It doesn't. Rigor.
But that's the focus there. Rigor is the most important
if you're in science, again, maximize your math, maximize your science.
Correct.
Okay. Do you need to take these very competitive procedures? So we talked about this already.
Yeah.
That was repeat. How does UC factor in community colleges when you're not on your high school?
That's a great question. It doesn't need to be on your transcript. Again, you're not even submitting your transcripts. You're self-reporting every high school you went to, your high school, online high school, as in BYU or UC Scout, and you're self-reporting all the community colleges you guys went to and all the classes there. That's why when your counselors tell you, my school doesn't blah, 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 I tell the counselors, I do not care what you think. I care what the college thinks, and the college accept all that as well too.
I heard 10th and 11th grades were the most important. Is that true?
All the grades are important. It's not just 10th grades. Those is important because they match your GPA. And again, for those who are thinking that's important, bad news.
My child is in IB class and we talked about this.
And we talked about this about too.
What will be a typical acceptance rate for out-of-state students to UC Berkeley? Oof.
It depends per school, per everything. Just to give context, right? The UCs, it's like you can let us look it up. The UCs reserve 18% of their class for like out-of-state families as well too. So the California families, you compete for like the 88% of spots. Out of state, there is like an 18% reserve for you. There are certain schools that are way over that, aka Berkeley, UCLA. They're trying to reduce it, but then that's it.
How do you know how to check if you're an ELC? They'll tell you.
They'll tell you on your app. Once you submit it December, go back to your app. It'll tell you at the very bottom if you're ELC. It will tell you
exactly. My student attends a middle college, high school that doesn't offer an AP. Just fine. It's not going to count against them. No. Should you bring it in your CC classes in your high school channel or keep
separate?
Or
no, it doesn't matter, right? You don't do transcripts. We stop everything.
Does the student need to take the highest math for biology major? Yes, if you can.
Correct.
Are there any topics that should be avoided in PIQs? Ooh,
topics? I don't think so, right? So topics, no. The questions, though, this is like a personal pet peeve. I'm not sure if Coach Art feels the same way also. I don't like number 8. Number 8 of the PIQs is a really hard one to get right. I know Coach David will say number 5 is also the very hard one. It's the challenge one as well too. I think that one's fine, but like then I say just avoid it just because I think you can probably find another PIQ, and that's my reason. You can probably find another PIQ that can be used to explain better. But is there any bad topics? Absolutely not. If it affects you, you should be able to explain it, or like if it affects you in a good or bad way.
Coach Tony, we are 1 minute out. So.
Oh no, we're not gonna finish. We're not gonna finish. How many more questions do we have? we are we're still 76 slides away. We're not gonna finish. I try to go as fast as I could. I did like over 20.
I know we tried,
and we still didn't finish as well too. Should we do part 3?
Do you guys want us to do part 3? Come on, give us.
Let me know in the chat if you guys okay with the part 3. If not,
I think we need to do part 3. Look at all the hearts and the thumbs up. I think we need to do part 3.
In the chat, friends, say yes. Yeah,
say yes.
Number 3. Drop the number 3 in the chat. Drop the number 3 in the chat. That's for me. I know Coach R likes
drop 3. Drop 3. Okay,
I want
3.
The chat. The chat is the flowing.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Man, we keep trying, Coach Art. You know, this could be like a part 10. It's like keep going and going.
I know, and we have like
oh my
gosh.
Are you guys cool? If we had you guys like Coach Art, Coach Tony, right? We're pretty chill, pretty hanging out. Yes, please.
And remember, Coach Tony, we got 30 extra questions in the
I know, I saw
session,
that too. So,
all right, okay.
again, we're gonna try again. I don't know next week. Maybe next week we'll
No,
see.
we'll get through it. We'll get through it.
We'll get
We
through
get through
it. It's all been in queue. It's all saved as well too. I'm gonna screenshot
That's
everything.
right.
You guys are good to go. Again, one last, if you guys enjoyed it and you guys have not yet booked your free 15-minute assessment with our team,
Yes, please do.
That's our only ask from this call. We want to
Absolutely.
be selfish, help you guys out on this call. On that call, you book a call with our team. They're gonna
That's
ask you a
right.
few questions. They'll help you identify some like pain points that you guys have or any gaps that you guys have, and give you some recommendations. That's it. You can't even buy. It's
That's
not a
it.
sales call. Leave your credit cards at home on that call as well. And if you want to work with our team, let us know. We can schedule a
Yep.
follow-up call after that. How do I get a copy of the recording? We're gonna go ahead and resend it out to you guys. I'll
Yep.
see if you guys if I have your text, if I have your email, you'll get it. If I don't
That's
have
right.
your email, you text, slide in my DMs, and I'll go ahead and grab your replay
There you go.
of that as well too.
All right. We are just, I've got to tell you, this is, you can tell, hopefully you see the passion. And I know we got to go, but we are passionate about our jobs here. We really are. It's not a job. It's an obsession for us just because we love to help everyone out. And again, the data and the information's out there. We want to give it to you in the most succinct way so that you guys can be successful. So please, if you like this, continue to join us for these sessions. We love it. We love to see you guys there. And as you know, as you can see, if you want to join us, then be part of our family because we want you there. Okay. So with that said, Coach Tony, take us out. Anything?
It's a pleasure chatting with everyone here today.
Okay.
I'm just saving the questions. I can make sure we don't lose it. We don't want to lose any questions as well too.
Right.
If you do have any urgent questions though, they've slide in our DMs. You can
Exactly.
message Coach Art, myself. We can help you any time sensitive stuff. That's pretty much
Okay.
it for me. We'll see you guys again next week, next Tuesday, for our live weekly training here in our UC Admission Secrets Facebook group. Have a great week, everyone.
Adios. Bye-bye.